The UK is planning to be the first nation to run human challenge COVID-19 trials. It is a groundbreaking work in which the government put £33.6 million towards, and it will get started in January 2021. This is how the trials will work. First, researchers would use controlled doses of coronavirus to find out the smallest amount that can cause infection in volunteers aged 18 to 30. Second, these human guinea pigs would be infected with the virus through their noses, and then they would need to stay in a biosecure facility to be monitored around the clock until they are not infectious. Also, without a doubt, the volunteers can get financial compensation depending on the time they spend on contributing to the trials. Last but not least, researchers would test if a COVID-19 vaccine works. If the vaccine works, the young volunteer would need to be monitored for up to a year to check for any side effects. However, most of the countries are trying to develop COVID-19 vaccines. There are hundreds of vaccines, and several of them are in the final stage, testing.
We will probably need a few different vaccines as well as effective treatments to defeat COVID-19, experts said. Therefore, they are going to compare which vaccine works best. Moreover, the vaccines have to be tested in the elderly and the vulnerable to make sure they work well. Nevertheless, since we don't have to wait for the people to infect naturally, which means we expose someone to coronavirus deliberately, these trials pose an ethical dilemma, especially when there is still no treatment to cure these patients now. But experts insist that safety will be a number one priority, and the plans will need ethical approval as well as sign-off from regulators before they can go ahead. Professor Julian Savulescu, an expert in ethics at Oxford University, said the trials were justified. In the pandemic, time is lives. So far, over 1 million people have died. In conclusion, although the human challenge raises a high controversy, it aims to get effective vaccines and other treatments for COVID-19 as fast as possible.
Don't worry, it's not corona.